Nothing ruins your day faster than hearing someone completely butcher a classic song with an unwarranted cover. You might call it death for the eardrum, perhaps an unforgivable cardinal offense, but I'm gonna call it the Cover Song Hall of Shame. Today's episode might make you a bit squeamish if you do love the original songs, but since I've done so many videos in the past about great covers that beat the original, etc., it's finally time to see what happens when the coin toss lands us smack dab in the middle of a laughably bad nightmare. To state the obvious, I'm under no illusion that a bad cover can somehow erase or taint the original forever. This list also isn't some definitive ranking, so please don't take the order of things too seriously. There's a ton more that I hope to cover in the future, so hit that like button to let me know that you're dying to see part 2, and drop a comment with your most hated cover of all time.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire.
Okay, I love the Doors, but hear me out on this one. What if they were a washed-up band that only played weddings and high school reunions? Grace be unto the sweet release of death, Train answered that very specific vision by laying down a neutered turd on the carpet, their cover of the iconic 60s chart topper Light My Fire. Long before Train were understandably mocked for their clunky writing and aggressively annoying hits, they were somewhat respected in the industry, as evidenced by Pat Monahan claiming that the surviving members of the Doors asked him to do this.
We wanted to play this song that the Doors asked us to play.
Guys, Jim Morrison would have fucking hated this cover. They took a sprawling 7-minute classic and removed the keys, arguably the best or at least the most memorable part of the original, and they tried to emulate everything on the guitar while Pat strolled around like some wannabe lover boy. That spike in confidence must have made them believe people would just adore a douched up na-na-na take on the Doors, but that was not a thing that anybody wanted, not then, not now, and definitely not in the future, because this is the type of performance you should expect to have tomatoes thrown at you for.
Well, it takes a strong man, baby, but I'm showing you that door right
George Michael exuded nothing but class, style, and melody. Limp Bizkit were more like crass, vile, and debauchery. And for whatever insane that this even exists reason, they made a version of Faith early on in their career that's so bad, it's hard to comprehend how well received it was by everyone. I'm kidding, almost everybody outside of the soggy Bizkit fandom hated this cover beyond belief, including the man himself, R.I.P. George Michael, and to this day, I still find it so disturbing how one even thinks of the idea to make Faith into a certified nu metal train wreck.
Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body.
The opening notes are familiar, but you know something's gonna get body slammed when Fred Durst struts in with more testosterone running through his backwards cap than an entire college football locker room. Unbelievably, he changes the lyrics to be a joke about his own body instead of being about the body of an attractive flirty partner, which basically ruins the entire point of the song just so he can start screaming while Wes Borland gives one of his worst guitar performances ever. The late 90s were the wild, wild west, and if Limp Bizkit attracting new hordes of fans thanks to a bizarre cover of a George Michael song doesn't prove that, then nothing ever will.
Baby, I'll be bulletproof.
The Punk Goes Pop series is home to a wide range of atrocities, but to be fair, there are some real gems buried in there too, and while I could probably do an entire video lamenting the series at large, these next two picks are the only ones I'm featuring for now. Bulletproof is LaRoux's big hit that gained traction worldwide around the start of the 2010s, and it's an incredibly fun song with laser-like precision to its synths, smooth as ice, and the complete opposite of what this gang of hooligans did to it. Family Force 5 is irredeemable. Because of this, yeah, but really just because of everything they've ever made. If you're lucky enough to not know them already, then please keep it that way beyond what I'm giving you here, because if there was ever a time to take somebody's word for it, this is that time. Dubstep Crunkcore LaRoux cover. If your ass ain't running for the exit door, then exit this video, because our friendship has officially ended.
You don't get another chance, life is no Nintendo game, but you lied again, now you get to watch her leave out the window, guess that's why they call it window pane.
Just gotta stand there and watch me burn. Well, that's alright, because I like the way it hurts.
Ray William Johnson, the cockroach of the social media age. Despite being heinously unfunny and jumping across multiple platforms, he continues to find success from his early days on YouTube hosting Equals 3 and this very project Your Favorite Martian, to Facebook sketches and TikTok roasts that are terribly cringe. I don't know how this man thrives. Eminem and Rihanna are two of the most popular artists of the 21st century, and they've collaborated a few times, with the most popular of those probably being Love the Way You Lie. It's a song that touches on domestic abuse and toxic relationships, and while the song itself maybe hasn't aged that gracefully, can we all agree that nobody needed Ray William Johnson, of all people on God's green earth, doing a terrible cover where it sounds like he's reciting lyrics off of his phone as he raps? Biting your tongue for years on end cannot be healthy, at least according to WebMD, so here we go, I'm gonna spit it out. Ronnie Radke's cover of Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio is one of the most hilariously out-of-touch bullshit renditions of a song I've ever heard in my entire life. It's ridiculously bad to the point where I can't stop laughing by the time it all comes crashing down. Well, John, Coolio signed off on this and even appeared in the music video, so it sounds like you're just a hater. Dog, Coolio hasn't even been relevant since 1999. I'm pretty sure the man would give anybody 3 hours on any set if you took him to dinner and bought a copy of his last album that nobody heard first. My thing with this cover is just how poorly executed literally every element of the song is. Ronnie loves to try and show off his versatility, so he sings, raps, and screams in terribly disjointed fashion, never once realizing that his gargantuan ego blocked his view of every stop sign he ran in the creation of this fucked up experiment. The insufferable face-melting cringe. The man really thought that he said something here and couldn't resist rampaging in one last time to mimic the whole shout-out talking outro thing. It's even more embarrassing because the original Gangsta's Paradise, and of course Amish Paradise, the parody by Weird Al, is a certified hood classic, and Ronnie's just a wannabe gangster who couldn't shut his mouth if his life depended on it. You two don't have a ton of blemishes despite being a band since 1976, but they do happen. One of them was sneaking that album on your iPhone in 2014, the other is their poor judgment in choosing to cover Creedence Clearwater Revival in 1992. Fortunate Son is a protest against the military draft for the Vietnam War, in which rich politicians sent the troops out en masse gladly, just as long as it wasn't them or their sons doing the fighting on the front line. Seeing you two wade into political water isn't unexpected or even the problem with this. It's the fact that they took a powerful statement that hits like a hand grenade and turned it into a down-tuned travelin' blues song, complete with a harmonica solo and Bono singing in what I can only describe as sort of out of key, not really alive. To say they fell flat on their faces with this one is putting it nicely. This is a head scratcher that might leave you feeling uncomfortable for the simple fact that they legitimately sound like they're being forced to cough this up.
Speak to you like the chorus to the verse. Chop another line like a cutter with the gun. And I come like a freak show takes the stage. Give them the games we play. She said, I want something else to get me through this. Send it your kind of life.
Have you ever wondered what a chain-smoking weasel that's screeching out for help in the middle of a rhino attack would sound like? Because Dance Gavin Dance are quite literally dying to give you an answer to that insane hypothetical. Semi-Charmed Life is a staple of the 90s rock scene that lives on to this day. It's known for its perfect juxtaposition of colorful music to extremely dark lyrics as we slip inside the mind of a junkie, remaining praiseworthy to this day for a myriad of reasons. Dance Gavin Dance admittedly is not my thing at all. I can't get into them, and I've generally left them alone knowing that, and I'm aware that this was done for the Songs That Saved My Life compilation, and it's great that it had such an impact on them, but sometimes there's a cover that's just so heinous you can't not say something, and today is the day that I plant that flag no matter the blowback. I would rather soak in a vat of honey for 24 hours, go smashing into a massive beehive and take my chances running away on foot than listen to this fucking horrifying cover in full ever again. I swore it off back when this dropped in 2018, but I had to come back for one final mission. To destroy it publicly! Between Tillian Pearson's croaking vocal cords that sound like the life is slowly being choked out of them, to the brutally out-of-place bulldozing John Mess slaps on as if a contract stipulated that 50% of the cover be anamorphic screams, This is a fully functional torture device. Even beyond that, the music sounds like they're only playing the original Third Eye Blind song note for note, except with slightly flashier guitars. I mean, it's definitely the better part of the cover, but good fucking god, it doesn't excuse the vocals and their, let's call it their unique style that straight up doesn't work for a song like that. That's a wrap on this episode of 7 on Sunday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for hitting that like button. Subscribe if you happen to be new to the channel, and if you want to see more videos that I've made about cover songs, then you can check out this playlist on screen or tap here for another episode of the series. Other than that, you can follow me on social media. I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode, maybe your most hated covers in the comments section, and I'll be back soon for more on ARTV.